Chosen ones, stop scrolling right now. Lock your attention on this message. The group came against you. They whispered in secret. And now they are completely panicking because the very trap they carefully set for your downfall has suddenly become their own inescapable spiritual prison. You did not find this recording by chance. This is a divine appointment perfectly timed for your soul. Do not click away. They really thought they had destroyed your spirit. They watched you struggle and secretly celebrated your pain. They launched a smear campaign to drain your energy. They wanted to isolate you from your divine blessings. But heaven saw every single hidden motive while you were quietly enduring their attacks without ever raising your voice in anger. Their plot has officially collapsed. You feel that sudden shift in the atmosphere. You have been incredibly exhausted lately. Your physical body feels heavy even when you rest. You wake up at 3 in the morning with a racing heart, and you experience sudden waves of deep sadness that do not belong to you because your spirit is absorbing the dark energy they tried to project onto your life. You thought you were losing your mind. Listen to me very carefully right now. You are not going crazy at all. This heavy feeling is not regular sadness or ordinary weakness. You are a highly spiritually sensitive being. Your spirit has been acting as a human shield. You have been absorbing the spiritual warfare directed at your life by those very people while they walked away feeling perfectly fine. They drained you on purpose. You have been fighting battles in the unseen realm. While your physical body sleeps, your spirit is constantly defending your frequency against their relentless psychic attacks and jealous intentions. That is exactly why you wake up completely drained. You have been the intercessor for people who never even check on your heart. You carry their chaos so they can have peace. It was a holy sacrifice. You noticed how certain people suddenly pulled away from you. You felt entirely left out and abandoned. You sat in your room and wondered what you did wrong. And the enemy used that isolation to attack your mind with heavy doubt, because they knew that if you realized your true worth, you would never let them manipulate you again. They wanted you to feel completely worthless. But here is the massive truth they desperately hide. Your isolation is not a punishment at all. It is a strict divine quarantine. God was actively pulling you away from their toxic noise. He knew their dark intentions long before you did. Your next season cannot be entered with that chaos attached to your soul. So the universe forcefully removed them from your path. Rejection was your ultimate protection. They misunderstood your profound silence for weakness. They thought because you did not fight back that they had completely won. They bragged to others about your downfall, but they forgot who you truly belong to, and they underestimated the silent protective power that constantly surrounds a chosen one like you. You are a masterpiece of the Creator. The karma is already in motion. Right now, extreme confusion is hitting their camp hard. They are turning on each other as we speak. The lies they told about you are being exposed in the light. They are losing sleep while your peace is becoming entirely untouchable. The universe is fighting this incredible battle for your vindication because you trusted the divine timing instead of taking petty revenge into your own hands. Just stand still and watch. There is a specific reason your life felt so strange in the last 72 hours. The sudden delays and the doors that slammed shut were not random events. I need you to stay with me until the final word of this message, because what the Holy Spirit is about to reveal will finally make sense of every tear you cried while you were trying to heal in absolute silence. Do not let your mind wander. Take one deep breath slowly right now. Drop your heavy shoulders and release the tight tension in your jaw. Let the chaotic noise leave your mind for just a moment. You have carried this massive weight for far too long. Type, "I am ready" in the comments to physically affirm your presence here, because we are stepping into a powerful new frequency together as a united spiritual front. You are completely safe now. The system is completely terrified of your awakening. They know that if a chosen one like you fully realizes your power, their control shatters. They deliberately kept you in a heavy survival mode. They wanted you so focused on daily stress that you forget your royal identity. But God already secured exactly what is yours, and He placed a divine seal over your future that no earthly enemy can ever break. No one can intercept it. They are coming with no warning to witness your rise. The very people who mocked your struggle will have to watch God prepare a massive table for you. They will see the divine favor pouring over your life, and they will realize they made a catastrophic mistake by betting against you while you were quietly building your strength in the shadows of their cruel judgment. Your silent endurance is about to pay off. Now, the spiritual atmosphere has been completely cleared. Your energetic field is no longer a dumping ground for their unresolved trauma. You are officially released from the heavy burden of healing people who want to stay broken. The energetic ties to their chaotic frequency are permanently cut. Listen carefully as we step into the next powerful revelation. What heaven has secured for you will shock them all. Let us look deeper into this heavy isolation you feel right now. You have been sitting in empty rooms, wondering why everyone disappeared. You thought your social circle shrinking was a sign of your personal failure. You believed the lie that you were simply too difficult to love. But heaven is completely rewriting that false narrative today, because your isolation is not a punishment. It is a strict divine quarantine to protect your frequency. God saw the hidden knives they were holding behind their smiling faces. He knew their dark intentions long before they even formed in their minds, and He actively closed those doors, because entering that season with them would have destroyed your soul. The universe was forcibly removing spies from your sacred camp. You felt the sting of their sudden rejection deeply. You cried when the people you helped the most turned their backs on you. But think about the incredible peace you feel now without their constant drama. That painful rejection was actually your ultimate divine protection. God had to make them uncomfortable with your pure light, so they would leave your path completely. They did not hate you because you did something wrong. They hated the blinding light inside you that easily exposed their hidden darkness. You are the discerning warrior. You have the spiritual sight to read a room instantly and sense their fake energy. That made them incredibly terrified of your quiet presence. They pulled away quickly because your holy frequency burned their inner demons. Now, let us talk about your profound silence. You have kept your mouth shut while they spread malicious rumors about your character. You wanted to scream and defend yourself loudly to anyone who would listen. You felt incredibly weak for not fighting back with the same toxic venom. But heaven says, your absolute silence was a massive strategic victory. Silence is not weakness at all. Silence is supreme wisdom, perfectly under control. Calm is absolute authority. You did not engage in their petty battles because your energy is entirely too expensive to waste. You are stepping firmly into the role of the quiet victor. Your silence actually confuses the enemy more than your loudest words ever could. When you refuse to react, they lose their only source of power over you. They are emotional vampires who desperately need your angry reaction to feed their empty egos. But when you offer them absolute stillness, they slowly starve to death spiritually. Your silence became an impenetrable fortress that their dark arrows simply could not pierce. God's delay in your vindication is not a denial, it is exactness. He was holding back His heavy judgment until their true nature was fully exposed. You thought He was ignoring your deep pain while they walked away unpunished, but the universe was merely giving them enough rope to spiritually hang themselves. You just had to stand perfectly still. You are not starting over from the bottom. You are simply finishing the divine preparation. The exhaustion you feel is the final shedding of your old survival mode. You are no longer required to be the spiritual shield for broken people. That heavy contract is permanently cancelled today. Breathe that beautiful truth in right now. They expected you to break down completely under the heavy weight of their betrayal. They watched, eagerly waiting for your spectacular public collapse. But But you survived because you are chosen. You did not survive because you are physically tough. You survived because you are a masterpiece of God, designed to weather severe spiritual storms. Your kindness was never a foolish weakness. It was a rigorous divine test that you did not even know you were taking, and you passed it with absolute flying colors. You kept your heart pure in a dark matrix that desperately tried to make you bitter. That purity is the exact reason you are receiving this massive upgrade in authority. The matrix wants you to believe that working harder will fix your broken heart. The system pushes you to seek temporary distractions to numb your deep spiritual pain. But true healing comes from resting gracefully in your divine authority. You do not need to prove them wrong. You just need to let brutal karma handle their heavy debts completely. Every single tear you cried in secret was carefully collected by the heavens. Nothing was ever wasted in your painful journey. The long nights of profound loneliness were shaping you into a vessel strong enough to hold the coming mega deposit. If you had stayed comfortable with them, you would have never realized your immense power. You are the cycle breaker of your entire bloodline. You took on the heavy generational curses, so the ones coming after you can walk in freedom. That is exactly why the spiritual attacks against you were so incredibly severe. The dark forces knew you were the one appointed to finally break the chains, but their desperate attacks have completely failed to stop you. Gently, like this video, not for an algorithm, but as a physical declaration to the universe, you are officially accepting this powerful reframing of your current reality. You are no longer a victim of their cruel circumstances. You are a chosen warrior hidden away until the perfect moment of divine revelation. Let us uncover a dark spiritual secret today. You always wonder why the people you helped the most eventually turned their backs on you. You gave them your time and your pure energy when they had absolutely nothing. But the moment they stood back up, they completely forgot your sacrifice. Why did they betray the very hand that fed them? The answer is not grounded in normal human psychology. We are talking about severe spiritual warfare taking place in the unseen realm. The enemy desperately needs physical vessels to operate effectively in this earthly dimension. Dark forces cannot attack your pure light directly, so they use the vulnerable people closest to your trusting heart. These people became unconscious agents for the dark matrix. They were completely drawn to your incredibly bright frequency, like moths to a flame. They did not come into your life to love you sincerely. They came to aggressively harvest your divine energy, because their own spiritual tanks were entirely empty. You were their ultimate power source. You felt this happening deep inside your spirit. Every time you spent hours listening to their endless drama, you walked away feeling physically sick. Your shoulders grew heavy and your mind felt incredibly foggy. But your pure, empathetic nature kept making constant excuses for their highly toxic behavior. You thought you could heal their darkness. But you cannot heal someone who is deeply committed to their own brokenness. And here is the brutal truth you must accept today. They were intensely jealous of the divine favor resting upon your life. They saw how easily you attracted blessings and how naturally people gravitated toward your authentic spirit. It made their inner demons furious. They realized they could never replicate your unique spiritual frequency, because your anointing is a direct gift from God that cannot be faked or purchased. So they made a silent pact to quietly dim your shining light. They started criticizing your ambitious dreams and mocking your spiritual sensitivity. They wanted to make you doubt yourself. When they realized they could not control your mind, they tried to control how others saw you. This is exactly how the vicious smear campaign started. They whispered toxic lies behind your back to ruin your solid reputation. They projected their own ugly insecurities onto your pristine character. It was a calculated attack by the sleeping system. They wanted to isolate you so you would crawl back to them, begging for validation. But they entirely miscalculated the incredible strength of a chosen one. You did not break under the heavy weight of their collective betrayal. You simply retreated into your quiet sanctuary to gather your massive spiritual strength. You became the quiet victor. Listen carefully to me right now, because this is crucial. If you have experienced this exact betrayal, type 1111 in the comments. We are exposing the dark tactics of the enemy together. The Matrix operates entirely in the shadows, but your awareness brings their dirty tricks into the blinding light. You are no longer their blind victim. The universe allowed this painful lesson so you would finally learn how to fiercely protect your energy. You had to see their true faces before the massive wealth transfer could occur. God could not drop a mega deposit into your hands while spiritual thieves were still living in your inner circle. The leakage had to be permanently stopped. Now their access to your divine frequency is completely cut off, and without your pure energy to sustain them, their false reality is rapidly crumbling. They are waking up to the horrible realization that they lost their greatest blessing. They threw away the only person who truly cared for their broken souls. Their regret is becoming unbearable. This spiritual warfare was never about you being a bad person. It was entirely about the enemy trying to prevent your ultimate awakening. But their desperate strategy completely backfired on them. Instead of breaking your spirit, they accidentally pushed you right into your supreme divine authority. You are finally recognizing your true worth. The system thought you were just another ordinary sleeper they could easily manipulate. But everything is a divine appointment in the life of a chosen one. Every single betrayal was carefully permitted to build your spiritual immune system. You are now entirely immune to their low vibration tactics. Your mind is a fortified divine fortress. The divine protection around you is stronger than you can possibly imagine. Heaven is standing as your fierce defense attorney right now. All the confusion they tried to cast onto your beautiful life is returning directly to their own front door. They are about to reap exactly what they carelessly sowed into your peaceful existence. Get ready. Do not let your mind wander as we move forward. The enemy is currently losing their grip, and the signs are everywhere around you. We are about to uncover the exact signals that prove the dark matrix is totally collapsing. You need to know these signs so you can prepare for your coming victory. Your vindication is much closer than you think. The people who tried to drain your energy have completely failed. The spiritual leeches attached to your aura are starving right now. They used to feast on your deep empathy and your constant need to fix their problems. But heaven stepped in and severed those dark energetic cords permanently. You are free from their matrix. The dark forces are panicking right now because they are rapidly losing their absolute control over your destiny. There are 3 silent signs that prove the spiritual atmosphere around you is shifting completely. I need you to listen carefully to these exact signs. They will confirm everything your soul already knows. Sign number 1 is the sudden, unexplainable quietness in your physical environment. Just a few months ago, your life was filled with constant chaos and loud, petty drama. Your phone was always ringing with someone else, needing your urgent help. Now the room is completely silent, and nobody is bothering you anymore. You initially thought this silence meant you were completely abandoned. You felt lonely and wondered why the universe isolated you so suddenly. But this silence is actually the sound of the enemy retreating in massive defeat. God cleared the room, so the dark forces can no longer use physical vessels to reach you. Sign number 2 is the intense physical pushback you feel when you try to go backwards. You might try to reach out to an old toxic friend just because you feel a little lonely. But the moment you pick up your phone, your stomach drops heavily. You suddenly feel physically sick or incredibly exhausted. That sickness is not a random occurrence at all. It is your highly sensitive spiritual immune system violently rejecting a lower frequency. Your spirit is literally blocking you from returning to the survival mode you just escaped. The universe will not allow a chosen one to step back into the dark matrix. Take a deep breath right now and let your heavy shoulders drop. You are undergoing a profound spiritual transition that requires immense energy. Many chosen ones fail to recognize sign number 3, and it costs them their peace, because this final sign is happening entirely inside your own mind while you sleep. Sign number 3 is your complete lack of emotional response to their new attacks. In the past, when they spread false rumors about you, it would ruin your entire week. You would cry endlessly and try desperately to defend your good name. But recently you heard a terrible lie they told, and you felt absolutely nothing. You did not feel angry or incredibly sad. You just felt a strange, overriding sense of deep pity for their broken souls. This emotional detachment terrifies the enemy more than anything else in the world, because it proves that their toxic arrows can no longer penetrate your divine shield. You are untouchable. The spiritual warfare is shifting from your physical reality into the unseen realm. While you rest peacefully, the Holy Spirit is dismantling the traps they carefully laid out for you. They thought they buried you under their heavy judgments and cruel words, but they did not know you were a divine seed. The angels are fighting fiercely on your behalf while you simply breathe. You have been the intercessor for so long that heaven decided it was finally your turn to be protected. The dark forces thought they could isolate you and strike you down while no one was watching, but heaven was always watching every single move. You are a masterpiece of God designed to thrive in the dark. The pressure they applied to your life only accelerated your spiritual awakening. They unknowingly polished the exact diamond they were trying so hard to completely crush. Now they have to watch you shine brilliantly from a very far distance. Do not let your mind wander right here. I need you to fully grasp the magnitude of this victory. You did not have to lift a single finger or plot any dark revenge against them. You simply stayed perfectly still and allowed divine orchestration to handle your heavy battles. Calm is your absolute authority. Right now, their camp is filled with severe panic and deep confusion. The dark matrix relies heavily on predictable human reactions to sustain its power, but you broke their code by responding with absolute silence and pure grace. The system is short-circuiting because a chosen one refused to play their toxic game. They are watching you from fake accounts and asking mutual friends about your current status. They desperately want to know if their vicious attacks successfully ruined your life. But all they see is a quiet victor walking in supreme peace. Your refusal to break down publicly is driving their inner demons absolutely crazy. You are no longer fighting for your daily survival. You are standing firmly in the aftermath of a massive spiritual victory. The heavy lifting is officially over, and your season of rest is rapidly approaching. But before the mega deposit arrives, you must understand how to hold the coming blessing safely. The atmosphere around you is actively changing right now. The heavy pressure that kept you down for months is finally lifting. You can physically feel a massive shift happening deep inside your spirit. And heaven just issued a divine decree that completely reverses your current situation, while the dark matrix slowly loses its absolute grip over your destiny. The long season of your suffering is officially over. The spiritual tables have completely turned against the people who tried to break you. They thought they were the architects of your ultimate destruction, but they were merely pawns in a much larger spiritual game. God allowed them to dig a deep pit for your life, so they could eventually fall into it themselves when the divine timing aligned perfectly. The divine redirection is happening right now. Right now, extreme confusion is striking their camp like a sudden lightning bolt. The dark alliance they formed against you is rapidly falling apart, because relationships built on mutual hate and jealousy can never withstand the blinding light of absolute truth. They are starting to point fingers and fiercely blame each other for the catastrophic failures they secretly brought upon themselves. You do not even have to look out the window to see their massive downfall. The universe is making sure their ugly betrayal is exposed to everyone desperately trying to impress. They are turning on one another while your peace remains totally undisturbed. And the heavy karma they triggered is now hunting them down with ruthless precision because they dared to touch a protected masterpiece of God. Listen to me very closely as we navigate this transition. If you feel this powerful, energetic shift, type 777 in the comments. We are anchoring this frequency into your physical reality together. Do not let your mind wander back to the pain they caused you, because looking backwards will only slow down the massive blessing that is rapidly approaching. While they are drowning in the toxic chaos they created, you are rising higher. Your mind is becoming a clear channel for divine revelation and extreme clarity. You are stepping into the profound role of the cycle breaker with absolute confidence. The enemy can no longer manipulate your pure emotions because your spiritual shield is fully activated and heaven has locked the gates completely. You are no longer the tired victim crawling through the dark matrix. You are the discerning warrior who sees through every single illusion they try to present. They wanted you to react with explosive anger so they could call you crazy, but your elegant silence has completely starved their inner demons and left them desperately hungry for the pure attention you refuse to give. They are slowly waking up to a terrifying spiritual reality today. They realize they chased away the only pure light that ever graced their dark lives, and the universe is permanently blocking them from ever accessing your energy again. They cannot text you or manipulate their way back into your good graces because the sacred door is firmly shut forever. You used to wonder why God took so long to rescue your heavy heart. You cried and asked why heaven allowed them to mock your painful struggle. But God's delay is not a denial, it is exactness. He waited until their toxic roots were fully exposed so he could pull them out of your life entirely without leaving any dark remnants behind. Now, the soil of your life is completely cleared of their toxic poison. You are standing on pure holy ground that is finally ready for a new harvest. The heavy spiritual warfare you fought in secret has successfully protected your bloodline. You absorb the dark blows, so your future generations will never have to know that specific pain or carry the heavy chains of poverty. The system wanted you to believe that nice people always finish last. The Matrix tries to convince you that ruthless manipulation is the only way to succeed. But heaven is about to display a massive public vindication that proves the dark system entirely wrong. Your authentic spirit is your ultimate currency, and it is about to pay out massively in ways you never thought were possible. Take one deep breath and drop your heavy shoulders again. You have to prepare your physical vessel for what is coming next, because the enemy is no longer your main concern. They are entirely handled by divine karma, and you must take your eyes off their sinking ship so you can focus on the massive horizon. The atmosphere is vibrating with the promise of a total spiritual restoration. The mega deposit of peace and provision is hovering right above your life. You are a chosen one who successfully navigated the most dangerous spiritual traps. And now, heaven is rolling out the red carpet for your triumphant return, while the universe completely honors your incredible spiritual resilience. You are the remnant who stayed true when everyone else compromised their soul. You did not sell your pure frequency for cheap worldly validation. And because you guarded your inner temple so fiercely, the Creator is elevating your status. The ones who rejected you are about to witness your crowning moment, while they watch from the desolate wilderness they carelessly chose for themselves. We are reaching the most critical turning point of this divine appointment. I need you to guard your focus and stay entirely present with me right here. Do not let the sudden memories of their betrayal distract your mind, because what heaven is preparing to hand you requires both hands completely open and totally free from the heavy chains of past bitterness. The enemy has been entirely defeated by the strict spiritual laws of karma, but now we must discuss your most important assignment as a chosen one, because receiving a massive blessing is only the beginning. You must know exactly how to protect it when it finally arrives. The universe is handing you the keys to a brand new reality. Listen carefully, because this is where many chosen ones miss their ultimate breakthrough. You must keep your mouth completely closed right now. When you feel the heavy energy lifting and you see the first signs of your mega deposit approaching, you will want to shout. You will want to call your family and tell your friends. But you must remain entirely silent while the universe finishes its work. You cannot share divine secrets with people who possess a worldly mindset. They will immediately project their deep insecurities and toxic doubts onto your fresh blessing. And their low frequency can actually delay the manifestation of your breakthrough if you allow them into your sacred space. Your absolute silence is the impenetrable shield. It protects your incoming harvest from desperate spiritual thieves. The dark matrix knows that your massive season of abundance is starting, and because they cannot stop the decree from heaven, they will try to intercept it through familiar faces. You will suddenly receive random messages from toxic people who ignored you for months. They will pretend they just want to check on your well-being. Do not fall for this trap. These people are simply spiritual scouts sent by the enemy to test your new boundaries. They want to see if they can still access your pure energy and drain your high frequency. But you must firmly deny them access without offering any explanation, because your spiritual energy is no longer available for their consumption. You do not owe a single response to people who only loved you when you were completely broken. Your energy is an incredibly expensive currency. You can no longer afford to spend it on cheap drama or meaningless arguments. Establishing strict boundaries is not an act of cruelty against others. It is an act of profound obedience to the divine calling placed upon your life. You are simply guarding the sacred temple that heaven just purified while you prepare your mind for the incoming massive shift. You have entered the powerful sanctuary of quiet authority. Let them misunderstand your silence and make wrong assumptions about your distance. You no longer need to explain your soul to people who are heavily committed to misunderstanding your spirit and dragging you down. You are the quiet victor, standing firmly on holy ground. Just let your pure presence command absolute respect. God is about to trust you with a mega deposit of peace and provision, but immense spiritual wealth requires a very stable, emotional vessel. If you allow toxic people to trigger your anger, they will spill the blessing right out of your open hands. That is exactly why the universe isolated you. You had to learn deep emotional regulation in the dark wilderness. The world will tell you to hustle hard and constantly prove your worth to everyone around you. The Matrix demands that you exhaust yourself just to survive another ordinary day. But heaven operates on a completely different frequency of effortless alignment, and you do not need to struggle because God already secured what is yours. Rest securely in that promise. You passed the rigorous test of isolation with flying colors. You learned how to validate your own worth without seeking the approval of the sleeping masses. Now you are fully prepared to steward the massive abundance coming your way. Your physical body and your spirit are perfectly aligned to receive the ultimate divine compensation while the enemy watches from afar. You are totally ready. Take a deep breath and clear your mind right now. If you understand this strict rule of silence, type 1111 in the comments. We are closing the spiritual doors to your past and locking them permanently. The energy vampires who used to drain you are officially locked out of your brand new season. You are entirely safe from their heavy influence. Your new level requires a completely different version of you. The old version of you would have rushed to save them from their own destructive choices. But the awakened chosen one knows that true healing must come from God, and you cannot carry their heavy burdens forever. That heavy contract is completely null and void today. You are finally choosing yourself. The system wants you to feel incredibly guilty for leaving those toxic people behind. The Matrix tells you that you are being selfish for choosing your own peace, but you are simply refusing to be their human sacrifice. You are a highly discerning warrior. You are fiercely protecting the divine lineage. Your profound shift from a surviving victim to a thriving ruler is almost complete. You are no longer navigating the dense fog of heavy spiritual warfare. The air around you is becoming incredibly clear, and your spiritual vision is sharper than ever before. You can literally sense the massive shift happening in the unseen realm right now, while your enemies lose their remaining power. Victory is already yours. Do not let your mind wander for even a single second. We are approaching the most powerful moment of this entire divine appointment. Heaven is about to issue the final decree over your life and completely shatter the generational curses. The vindication you have been crying for is standing right at your front door. Prepare your beautiful heart to receive it fully. We have reached the exact moment of your absolute liberation. The heavy spiritual warfare you endured was not meant to destroy you. It was carefully designed to prepare you for this precise divine decree. Heaven has seen every single tear you cried in the dark wilderness, and God is stepping in as your ultimate defense attorney right now. In the mighty name of the Creator, I break every generational cycle that has tried to wrap its heavy chains around your pure mind. The painful cycle of poverty stops with you today. The deep spiritual exhaustion stops with you right now. You are the ultimate cycle breaker for your entire bloodline. You are finally stepping into your supreme authority. I declare right now that the long season of you being a footstool for their toxic ego is permanently over. The universe is completely flipping the script on your enemies. Those who sat at hidden tables and spoke poorly of your pure name are about to witness something absolutely incredible. God is preparing a massive feast for you right in front of them. You do not have to lift a single finger to defend yourself anymore. You do not have to scream your truth to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Heaven is executing perfect justice while you simply breathe and rest. The deep confusion they tried to cast onto your beautiful life is returning directly to their own camp. They are terrified. Watch them panic completely as your divine peace becomes entirely untouchable. The very trap they set for your total downfall has become their own inescapable spiritual prison. They thought they could easily steal your light and leave you in the dark forever. But the universe is forcing them to watch you shine brighter than ever before. Their karma is brutal. I decree that a mega deposit of divine peace and massive provision is being released into your life right this second. The dark matrix tried to keep you completely broke and emotionally exhausted so you would settle for their toxic crumbs. But a massive, unstoppable shift has just permanently fractured their broken system. The divine frequency is overriding the delay. God is rapidly unlocking a huge deposit of wealth and extreme clarity that the sleeping system tried to keep hidden from you. You are no longer scraping the bottom of the barrel just to survive another difficult week. You are firmly holding the sacred keys to the kingdom. The massive delay you experienced was simply the universe gathering your massive back pay. Everything they stole from your spirit is being returned, multiplied today. The universe is fully compensating the time you lost trying to heal their broken souls. You are officially released from the heavy burden of carrying people who secretly wanted you to fail. The heavy, suffocating mantle of survival mode is completely falling off your tired shoulders right now. You are no longer surviving in the shadows of their cruel judgments. You are stepping into a divine and unprecedented season of absolute victory. Breathe that holy truth out right now. The severe spiritual war you fought for your bloodline has been completely won, and the dark forces have officially surrendered because they cannot break a true masterpiece of God. They wanted you to believe that your painful struggle would last forever. They wanted you to completely surrender your big dreams to the cold matrix. But God is handing you the exact victory they desperately tried to prevent. Your financial breakthrough is breaking through the heavy clouds of doubt and poverty. You are entering a season of effortless abundance. Every closed door you cried over is about to make perfect sense to your soul. God closed those small doors because He was preparing to open the floodgates of heaven exclusively for you. You are about to receive opportunities that will completely shock the people who counted you out. They will desperately try to understand your sudden massive rise, but they will remain confused. I declare that your mind is completely cleared of all their toxic residue. You will no longer wake up feeling physically sick and spiritually drained. Your holy frequency is fully restored and heavily guarded by angelic forces. You can finally sleep in absolute peace, knowing that the enemy can never touch your anointed life again. The heavy battle is totally finished. The people who mocked your painful journey will have to stand back and witness your glorious crowning. They will realize with deep horror that they messed with a highly protected, chosen one. Their own dark actions have permanently disqualified them from entering your new season of massive wealth. They are locked out of your sacred sanctuary forever. You are entirely free. Type, "I claim this victory right now," to lock this powerful frequency into your physical reality. You are physically confirming your new status as the quiet victor. Do not shrink back or feel guilty for receiving this massive blessing. You earned every single piece of this beautiful harvest through your silent tears, and your unbreakable faith in the divine timing has rewarded you. You survived the wilderness. You walked through the fire and came out completely purified. The heavy smoke of the battlefield is finally clearing from your holy path, and as you stand in the quiet aftermath, you can feel a profound shift in your physical body. You are no longer vibrating at the frequency of pure survival. You are breathing the pure air of absolute victory. Heaven is placing a divine seal over your aura right now. This powerful seal completely blocks any dark energy from ever intercepting your beautiful blessings again. The people who tried to drain your spirit cannot even perceive your new frequency. You have ascended to a high spiritual altitude where their toxic arrows simply cannot reach your mind. Your peace is totally sealed. You are officially entering the holy sanctuary of quiet authority today. Let them misunderstand your calm demeanor. Let them make wrong assumptions about your silent life. You do not need to explain your sacred soul to people who are heavily committed to misunderstanding your spirit. Your pure presence alone commands absolute respect in the unseen realm now. You are the quiet victor. Heaven knows exactly how much it cost you to keep your heart pure. You lived in a dark world. The system desperately tried to make you bitter and cold, but you held on to your bright light while the matrix tried to extinguish your beautiful flame. And because you guarded your inner temple so fiercely, the universe is rewarding you massively today. The mega deposit is fully yours. As you step forward, you will walk with immense grace. You will not hustle or force doors open like the sleepers in the system do. You will simply glide into the rooms that heaven already prepared exclusively for your royal arrival. Beautiful opportunities will seek you out on their own, and your high frequency naturally attracts absolute abundance because heaven designed you to be a powerful magnet for continuous blessings. There is absolutely nothing left for you to heal from the previous dark season because heaven already did the heavy lifting. You are not a broken vessel. You do not need constant repair or endless worldly therapy. You are a completed masterpiece of the divine creator, standing in absolute perfection. The old toxic chapters are permanently closed. The ink is completely dry. You are moving forward freely. Do not look back to check if your enemies are suffering their heavy karma. Their dark fate is no longer your concern. You operate on a totally different timeline now. You are entirely separated from their chaotic dimension, and their desperate low energy can never reach you while you operate on this high spiritual frequency. Just keep your eyes focused purely on the massive horizon of your beautiful new life. The sleeping masses will never understand the profound depth of your quiet power. They will look at your peaceful life and wonder how you survived the brutal storms. They secretly wished for your ultimate destruction, but you do not owe them a single explanation about your divine rescue because heaven already fought the battle for you. Your massive success will be the loudest answer you ever give to their toxic doubts. You are a living miracle. Put your hand gently over your beating heart right now. Feel the steady rhythm of a chosen one who successfully conquered the deepest spiritual valleys. You are incredibly strong. Your beautiful soul is finally resting in supreme safety. The heavy burdens you carried for your bloodline have been completely shattered into 1,000,000 pieces today, and your future generations will walk in absolute freedom because of your silent sacrifice. Subscribe to this safe sanctuary and turn on the bell right now. We do this so the enemy cannot intercept your future messages from the divine realm. Joining this spiritual family is a physical declaration that you are locking your frequency in. You are building a powerful protective wall around your mind that the dark matrix can never penetrate. You are totally secure. Gently like this video as an act of absolute spiritual agreement with the universe. You are officially accepting the brilliant crown of quiet authority that heaven prepared for you. Share this message with someone your spirit brings to mind right now. Heaven knows exactly who they are, and they might be sitting in the dark, desperately waiting for this exact divine confirmation to save their life. Walk out of this digital space with your head held incredibly high. You are the anointed cycle breaker. You carry the sacred light of the entire cosmos inside you. Your painful season of hiding in the shadows is permanently over. Step into the bright light of your massive vindication while the universe rejoices over your absolute victory, because you are completely untouchable now, and no earthly weapon can ever bring you down. The divine decree has been spoken over your beautiful life, and it cannot be reversed, because God has already secured exactly what is yours, and the glorious delivery is happening right this very second. Rest your tired mind. Prepare your open hands to receive the massive harvest. I will meet you here again when the next heavenly transmission is completely ready. Until then, stay perfectly peaceful.